Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another episode of Inside DB Rated. This is the dual commentary series where we go ahead and spectate random matches on DB's ladder and just check out what people are playing. So this is going to be a match between Entropy 1227 on Unchained actually, versus Raizo on Phantom Knights. So these are a couple decks that you guys did request, so happy to show them off here. Hopefully it's a good match because I haven't watched it yet, but let's go ahead and just get started without any further ado. So it looks like Unchained going to be winning the RPS and going to opt to start. Nothing too shocking there. The opening hand for Unchained is going to be Heavy Storm Duster, Ash Blossom, Chamber, DD Ground, and Aruha. Pretty good hand actually, because Aruha plus one of the traps is definitely good enough to put up a Unchained Soul of Rage for sure. And then these are some interesting normal traps, because this deck definitely plays Trap Check quite often. These are usually, like, I would consider side deck cards for the most part, because they're really good going first. And they're applicable in like different types of matchups. But DD Ground going to be good in this matchup here for sure. And then the PK hand is going to be Kagemucha Knight, Tour Guide, Edgem Sabers, Fog Blade, as well as the Droplet. So this hand is also pretty good. Tour Guide Kagemucha Knight is quite good. And Droplet is a traditionally good going second card in this deck. No PKs to pair with it, but if they were going against VW, we have Fog Blade to stop Chuche as well, so that's quite good. Main phase 1, going to set the Chamber and then activate Aruha here. So that's going to target the Chamber, of course, to destroy it, and then it summons itself. Then Chamber will trigger to summon a copy of Sarama from deck. And then Sarama will go and reset the Chamber to destroy the Aruha, which triggers the Aruha here. That's going to summon out the Abominable Unchained Soul. And then from here, those two are going to be linked away for a copy of Unchained Soul of Rage. And then we're going to set the DD Ground as well as the Storm Duster, and then pass. So definitely solid. For turn, the top deck for PK is going to be Ancient Cloak, so there's a PK to pair with the Droplet, which is pretty good, which definitely is relevant against this card, because you don't want your stuff being linked away. Still going to have to play around or against DD Ground, though, which is going to be tough. So we're going to normal summon Tour Guide, and then Chain Block with Kagemucha Knight. I've gotten a couple questions about this actually, so I'll just quickly address it here. So even though this is a when you can effect, it doesn't miss timing, because the last thing to happen was still the Tour Guide normal summon. So these are just effects that would happen simultaneously, so they go on chain, hence the term CGOC, simultaneous effects go on chain. So you can chain block this. I'm pretty sure in the OCG you can actually have a window to respond to the Tour Guide before the Kagemucha Knight gets to activate. But in the TCG, you can just use these before the opponent has the window. But yeah, Kagemucha Knight gets summoned, and then Graph gets summoned off the Tour Guide. And then on summon, the DD Ground is going to be used here. And it looks like they're thinking. So the PK player is going to chain Droplet, getting rid of the Ancient Cloak to negate the Rage, which is pretty good. Gets the PK in Graveyard. And then Break Sword going to be made next. And we're actually going to go to battle phase and try and attack over the Unchained Soul of Rage, which I believe still does float. Yeah, it doesn't have to be sent to the grave specifically, so even under DD Ground, this can add a card back, which is nice. So that gets destroyed at 1100 because of the Droplet, of course, and then we're going to have Soul add back Aruha. And then in main phase 2, gonna overlay for Zeus, actually. Alright, pretty interesting. And then we're going to set Fog Blade, and then pass turn. In the end phase, Heavy Storm Duster is going to hit the Fog Blade. And then on resolution, the Chamber is going to be activated. So that's going to bring back the Unchained Soul, or the Abominable Unchained Soul, I should specify. So that effect is going to activate. The Ash should be banished due to DD Ground. This just has to discard. And this doesn't target, so that's going to force out Zeus here. Yeah, Zeus going to activate. These materials actually should go to Graveyard and not be banished, even under DD Ground, because these are not considered monsters while they are Xyz materials and while they're being detached. So that's just something important to know. It's similar to Dimensional Fissure versus Macro, because Macro specifies cards instead of monsters. So that's just a bit of a ruling in case you guys didn't know that. But the board gets wiped because of Zeus, and then Zeus gets destroyed off the Abominable Unchained Soul. Yeah, so the Graph should be banished, because obviously it was a monster on the field. Same with the Zeus. So this could matter, actually, because the Break Sword should be engraved. So, I mean, this could technically bring it back, but we'll see. For turn, we're going to say the top deck be another Chamber. So we're back to square one here, which is pretty solid. Can just set up the same board. So we're going to set chamber and then activate Aruha. That's going to target the chamber to destroy it, summon itself, and then chamber will summon the Sarama from deck. And then Sarama effect will reset the chamber and then destroy the Aruha, and then Aruha triggers. That's going to summon out a copy of Rakia. All right, so going for more of an aggressive play because this can activate in the battle phase too. So in the battle phase, we're going to go for 15 and then 15, and then Rakia effect going to target Sarama, and gonna summon out the dog actually. I think a lot of builds play 2 Unchained Soul, or Abominable Unchained Soul if I'm not mistaken, but I guess getting this in a circulation is not bad either, because this can like be brought out with like Chamber, and then like can go for more plays on your next turn maybe. All right, so yeah, plus there's no cards in hand to pitch off with the Abominable Unchained Soul anyways, so even bringing it back off this doesn't matter. But yeah, we're going to have the dog attack for 12 because of its effect. And then main phase 2, going to go for the Unchained Soul of Rage, and then pass. For turn, the top deck's going to be another Forbidden Droplet, which could be useful. We'll see how this gets played out. So we're going to banish Cloak here. That's going to add a copy of Torrent Scale. Pretty good starter, of course. Torrent Scale effect, that's going to... Oh, they're thinking on Summon. Okay, Summon and effect are good. So that's going to pitch Edgem Sabers, and then send a copy of Ragged Gloves. This combo definitely has to be deviated a bit, because normally you're sending the Ancient Cloak off of the Torrent Scales and using the Cloak to search boots, but the Cloak was used to grab the Torrent Scale in the first place, so yeah, this is going to have to be a bit of a deviation. Fall Blade to bring back the Ragged Gloves, and then going to overlay for a second copy of Breaksword, and then going to attempt to move to the battle phase, and at the end of main phase 1, the Unchained Soul of Rage is going to activate, of course, because it has to be in the main phase. So will we see Droplet be chained? The answer is no, so just going to go straight up into Anguish. And then Ragged Gloves, still in main phase 1, going to be banished. So that's going to send a copy of the Silent Boots. And then Torrent Scales can summon itself because of its effect. And then the Boots can go for a copy of Shade Brigandine. And then we're going to set and activate Shade Brigandine because no traps in grave. And then going to link that away for a copy of Link Spider. Image not loading. Rip Dueling Book sometimes. And then Verite Anaconda going to be summoned next. And we're thinking on Summon here. And that's going to actually be okay. So Verite going to be activated to send the materials. And then Dragoon hits the board. Dragoon effect, that's going to pop the Unchained Soul of Anguish. And then Anguish effect gets to add back Sarama. So there ended up being a card in case this could bring back a copy of the Abominable Unchained Soul. If this dog was another copy of it instead, brought up by the Sarama last turn. So I do wonder if that will matter. I mean, it doesn't really matter in the face of Dragoon because it can't be targeted or destroyed. And of course, this destroys. But in the battle phase, we're going to attack for 35, so not quite game. But the chamber is going to be there. That's going to bring back the dog. And then in main phase 2, we're going to have Dragoon destroy the Unchained Soul Disaster. And then Disaster is going to target Anguish, and that's going to be negated by Dragoon. This doesn't actually gain attack since this activated in Graveyard, and Dragoon has to destroy to gain the attack. Oh, it looks like the Unchained player is catching that as well. So going to draw for turn. Hey, it's another copy of Aruha. That's quite good. So Unchained has had Aruha access every single turn, which is quite nice. So gonna normal summon Sarama, and then use that effect. That's going to bring back the Unchained Soul Disaster, and then destroy the Unchained Soul Disaster, and that effect can reborn the Anguish. And then going to battle phase. Oh, yeah, that's actually just game because it's 1900. Yeah, so game 1 goes to Unchained. Pretty interesting, actually. Just quite a bit of back and forth. Very, very fascinating to see these decks grind for sure. So we're going to move into game 2, and it looks like Fam Knights are going to go first. If you guys are enjoying this commentary, definitely be sure to like the video and subscribe if you're new here and want to see more commentary similar to this style. But the opening hand for Fam Knights is going to be Kagemucha Knight, Silent Boots, Shade Brigandine, Feather Duster, and Dark Magician. Not what you would consider an ideal hand, but it's playable for sure. This is very interesting going first, although the matchup we've seen is already grindy, so it's nice to have a blowout card. And then this obviously is not good to draw. And then the Unchained hand is going to be Sarama, Prison, Evenly, Aruha, and Ash. So a couple of Go second cards here, not too bad. This could just eat up a Dragoon, and then we could play with the Unchained cards going second, so that's not bad. Main phase 1, Fam Knight is going to normal summon the Silent Boots, and then go for a Kagemucha Knight. And then link for a copy of Cherubini. Cherubini is going to send a copy of Graph, targeting itself, and then Graph will summon out Seer. And then going to link those two away for a copy of the Rusty. And then Seer brings back the copy of Cherubini. And then Rusty effect, that'll be Ashed. Definitely have to. Gonna set and activate Shade Brigandine, and then link away for a Link Spider, and then go for a Verite Anaconda. So this is interesting because Dragoon obviously is gonna hit the board, but the Feather Duster is the only card in hand right now, although there is the boots to add Fall Blade. So I wonder if they're going to hold the Fall Blade in hand as pitch fodder for the Dragoon, or just use the Feather Duster as Dragoon fodder. Verite effect, that's going to pay 2,000 and then send materials to bring out Dragoon. And then the Silent Boots is going to search for a copy of Fobblade. So yeah, this is going to be the decision. And it looks like Fobblade is going to be set. So Feather Duster going to have to be pitched off Dragoon if it is going to be required to be used, which probably going to have to be. For turn, we're going to see a top deck Skullmeister. A little bit late, but not the end of the world. It's still going to be useful, probably. Gonna go to main phase 1, and then activate Abomination's Prison. That's gonna grab a copy of Chamber. And then I think here you just want to go to battle phase, right? Just force out the Dragoon. Because you know the set is Fobblade. Going to battle phase, ending the battle phase, activating Evenly Matched, and that's going to be Dragoon negated. And then main phase 2, going to set the Chamber, and then activate a Ruha to target it. Curious as to when this Fall Blade will be able to trigger or just activate. Chamber effect, because this is all, of course, one hand effect. So Chamber brings out the Rakia. And then Rakia going to target a Ruha. Will this be negated by Fall Blade? The answer is no. So Aruha gets the trigger. That's going to bring out the dog. And then dog effect, that's going to target Verite. And that's not going to be negated either. So that's going to go into a copy of Rage. And Unchained has not normal summon, so they can just go for Sarama. Go for more plays here. Maybe reset the Chamber as well. Yeah, I'm going to normal summon the Sarama. Let's see. Okay, just checking the text on Rage real fast. Sarama going to target Chamber, so that's going to reset it, and then pop the pop the Rakia. And the Rakia effect going to... Oh, that is the end of the game. Huh. Well, I kept clicking next play there because I didn't expect that game to end that way. What was the board state? It was Fobblade set with Rusty and Dragoon. I do wonder. Were there any cards left in hand? Yeah, there is a Skullmeister left. So I wonder what was going to be brought out there by the Rakia. I don't know if it was worth scooping on the PK player's part. It was going to be a tough grind, but... I don't know. I feel like that was a bit early. But regardless, we're going to move into game 3 now. And it looks like Unchained is going to be going first. If you guys are like familiar with how Unchained could have like just completely denied the PK follow-up, then let me know. Because I still feel like that was maybe early. It was definitely not a favorable game state, but still feel like it was a premature scoop. But the opening hand for Unchained, who was forced to go first actually, is going to be Sarama, Aruha, Extravagance, Chamber, and Crackdown. So good to see this card. Crackdown's a very interesting card this format because it is quite strong, but in backward decks, everyone's siding, removal anyways. So with that in mind, this card is a lot more susceptible than just chainable like removal, but it's still good for sure as far as just impact on the metagame. And drawing Ruha on Chamber again, I think this was every single game that these two were together. And then for Fam Knights, it's going to be Dark Magician again, Ghost Spell, Droplet, Red Ice Fusion, Kagemucha Knight. This hand is very, very clunky. I mean, there's a couple go second cards, so it's not terrible. This can definitely stop Sarama. Actually, wait, no. Sarama sets, right? Oh, this doesn't stop Sarama. Ooh, interesting. Huh. How about that? All right, Extravagance is going to be activated in main phase 1. That's going to banish 6 and draw another Sarama and another Chamber. That is not very good. I mean, it'll be okay, but not ideal. Ruha going to pop the Chamber after setting it, and then Chamber will summon out Sarama. So it's all 3 Saramas out of the deck. Sarama effect. Yeah, gonna attempt to ghost spell that, but that is not actually allowed there. Yeah. Because, yeah, targeting a trap there, like, that's not special summoning from the graveyard. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah, Ruha gonna be popped there, and then Ruha going to be triggered. That's gonna summon out Dog. I wonder why they went for Disaster here when game one, this was pretty much the same combo, and they went for Unchained or Abominable Unchained Soul instead. I wonder what changed here. So we're gonna go for Rage, and then set 2 and pass. For turn, the top deck is gonna be a Danger Jackalope. So I do wonder if they're gonna go for just Red Ice Fusion or if they're gonna go for PK plays. Looks like the answer is just Red Ice Fusion straight up. So that's going to send materials and then summon Dragoon. And then Dragoon effect, that's going to pop the Unchained Soul of Rage. And then Rage effect is going to target a Ruha. That's going to be negated by Jackalope, which doesn't get to trigger here. And then Dragoon gets to attack for 3k. But the Abominable Chamber is going to be activated in battle phase. That's going to be Ghost Spelled. So we're going to take 3,000. Oh, this is an only use each of... That's interesting. So unlike most spells and traps, this is not an activate once per turn. It's a use once per turn. So Bell actually shuts off the other copy. Yeah, going to go and set Droplet at main phase 2 and then pass. In the end phase... Yeah, this is a use, not an activate. Hopefully they catch this. Oh, okay, yep. Yeah, they were catching it too. All right, good to see. Good to see. Yeah, very interesting game state. I didn't think it was going to be great for PK, but I mean, Red Ice Fusion, hard drawn, not too bad. Now, I do wonder what the outs are in this deck to it. In Unchained, that is. Gonna top deck a copy of Rakia. Main phase 1, gonna be thinking a bit. Normal summoning Rakia, and then going to battle phase. So going to straight up go and crash into the Dragoon, because this doesn't trigger off of its own effect. So Rakia, that's going to be negated by the Dragoon. And then main phase 2, going to activate Chamber. So that's going to target Sarama. And then Sarama effect, that's going to target... Oh, don't think it matters. That's game. Wow, really just no outs to Dragoon, huh? That's kind of interesting. Yeah, only on 1700 life too. So that is fascinating. I do wonder, I know this deck can play stuff like Dingirsu as well, but it's kind of hard to come up. Wow, that was not expected though. As far as like just the way this match ended. I'm just trying to think of other ways this deck outs Dragoon. Like maybe you have to play Ice Dragon's Prison or something, right? But yeah, if there's anything else in the engine that I'm missing that you guys can let me know about, then just let me know how this deck outs Dragoon just in its engine. Because, well, everything seems to target it, right? Or destroy. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more competitive and informative Yu-Gi-Oh content. I just like totally stuttered there. Subscribe for more informative and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me via Patreon TCG Player. All the links in the description as usual. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.